Hi everyone, I'm Rachel and I'm 30 years old. And when I was younger, about 9, I was diagnosed with depression as well as anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, and Tourette syndrome. It's quite young to be diagnosed with those things, especially depression. Usually, people are diagnosed in their 20s. So for me, it was quite young when symptoms started to develop and show up. But luckily, I've had lots of time to kind of learn about it and deal with it. The reason I'm making this video is a couple reasons. Part of it is kind of my own self therapy, talking about it. Um, and part of it is also to share my story so others feel like they can do the same. I know that's a big thing right now we're seeing is a lot of people are saying, I'm coming forward and sharing my story about something so other people know they're not alone. And I think that's really good. Um, so basically lately I have been feeling my depression symptoms returning. Um, Part of it, I think, is for a while I was getting complacent about taking my medication. Life gets busy. You're running around. I get up really early for work, and you forget to take your medicine, and it it totally happens. But you kind of start to feel the effects. The medicine I'm on is fluoxetine, brand name that people commonly known as Prozac. Um, and it is a serotonin balancer. So basically, in my brain, I have a serotonin imbalance, and my moods, it's considered a mood disorder. So um, I can get really gloomy and sad, kind of like you see on the commercials for the depression medication. The person's, really gloomy and really sad and looking out the window, and it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's almost humorous to watch those. But um, the medication helps me basically be balanced. And when I don't take it, when someone doesn't take it, you start to go into a relapse. And I know we hear that word a lot with like a drug relapse. So, you think of a drug relapse and you think, oh, your symptoms your drug use came back. So for me, if the medication's somehow out of my system, my chemicals aren't balanced and the depression symptoms come back. So the past maybe 3 weeks to a month, I've felt really off, not my normal self. So I made sure to be taking the medication, and I've been taking it consistently. But I've noticed that it still takes time to come out of the symptoms. Basically, I started to feel really lethargic. I have been taking way too many naps during the day, even though I get up and I go to work at 4 a.m. And, sometimes I do need a nap. It's been just like all I want to do is lay around. No motivation to do really simple things like simply picking up things from my room, simply doing laundry, simply, doing whatever, picking something up or doing a chore. You don't feel the motive. You feel tired. You don't feel the motivation, and it seems silly because they're like the easiest things. Um, for me personally, a big one for me, like last year I was doing really good with the gym and losing weight and making goals and feeling really good and eating good. And that stuff also helps the depression. It Because it gets your endorphins going and the hormones, the good hormones, are thriving. And I've gotten completely off. I haven't been in the gym. I've been eating crappy and it makes me feel bloated and icky and I hate it. And yet I'm having a really hard time getting back on it. Like something is just making me like weighing me down. Um, or maybe a while, like I was telling my sister that I feel like almost numb. Like I'm just sitting here and I'm just, like numb. Like what the heck's wrong with me? Like nothing's really wrong. Nothing traumatic has happened in my life. People have it. We have seen there's unfortunately many things in the world that are going on right now that are very horrible. People have it way worse, but everyone has their own personal struggle inside. and that you have to deal with on everyday life, that people don't see around you. You know, I go to work and it's a good distraction and I'm a happy person. I really am. But some of it, you know, you go home and some of it, like, you have to, the effort has to be made. So you're faking it. Um, so I don't want to be like that. You know, I want to help myself, and I'm struggling right now. Um, I want to be at the gym. I want to eat healthy. I want to feel good. I want to feel happy. Um, and the majority of the time, like as I said, I'm fine. I'm not, you know, I'm okay, but I've been feeling off. And it was kind of scary because it hasn't happened in a while. I haven't had a relapse like that in a while. Um, I don't like it. I definitely don't like it. It's something I've dealt with a long time. And I've learned how to manage it and live with everything I have. Um, I think one thing I guess that you could say could be good about finding out at a younger age, I um, I had many years to learn about it, and I educated myself. I learned about it. I asked the doctor questions. Um, I think a good advice I would have for anyone who is diagnosed with something, like, educate yourself. Really look into it. Personally, me knowing what's going on in my brain and knowing what's happening helps me deal with it. When I'm having an anxiety attack, I learn now, like, it's you're okay. I tell myself you're okay. I breathe and I say it's, you know, it's your mind, it's your head. You're not, everything's okay. And you just have to write it out. And depending on how bad they are, it can be really, really hard, but you get through it. Every day you can get through it. And there's ways to help. I know medication, I feel like there's, in some ways, there's still a stigma. People are like, I don't want to be on medication my whole life. It's bad. I don't want to do it. But if you have these things that are going to help you and that replace your chemicals that, you know, aren't there or are disturbed, you know, they're not balanced, you know, do everything you can to help yourself and um, to live the best life you can live, because there's no reason. Majority of people, even not diagnosed, I've seen in people, they have some sort of something. You know, they have panic attacks, they have some depression, obsessive compulsive disorder. Um, Everybody has a little bit of something. Some people are just, they need extra help daily, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. I am not ashamed. I'm open about it. I tell people, oh yeah, you know, I do this at work a certain way because of my OCD. I can't help it. You know, this, I'm so used to having this in this spot or doing it in this order, and that's just how I am. And in some ways, I'm so good at my job um, as a barista because I knock out those routines and I can do them really quick. Um, so sometimes I joke like my OCD actually helps me. Um, I wouldn't change anything about who I am. Um, because everything I've gone through has made me stronger. But I think, you know, I try so hard to be strong all the time, and sometimes I feel like I can't anymore. As far as just talking about it and saying, you know what, I'm not feeling good. I need to talk. I need some help, and that's okay too. Um, you know, it's I'm in the one thing that I'm really thriving in is school. Um, I am a psychology major, so, and I think a reason I love psychology is because of my own struggles, and um, I feel like I can um, really help other people and benefit other people with many different things. I'm interested in many different topics within psychology, um, but I like learning about the mood disorders and things that I have, and trying to understand more in my own head, and trying to understand people who even have it worse. You know, when you talk about, they get in such a deep depression where, you know, you start talking about suicide and everything. And I've never been there, so I have a hard time understanding how people get to that level. It's something I would like to research more on and look into and see what researchers have found as far as in the mind, I guess, the scientific the scientific ways of it. you know, if I could help anybody, that I would feel wonderful about that. And um, it feels good just to talk like this. It's almost like a private therapy session. It just feels good to talk. Um, you know, I want to go forward and get back into my routine. I was going to the gym 4 times a week. I was doing my cardio and my strength training. I mean, everything, and I felt great, and I was eating good, and my it helps your mind. It really does. It's amazing how positive for the mind that really is. And I think what's hard is I know that, and I keep telling myself that, yet I'm still struggling to like get up and go. And um, you know, it makes me feel kind of weak, like I failed, I guess. But um, I think it's always, you can always start brand new again. You Just because you fell off even a month or a couple months or whatever, a year, it doesn't matter. You can still get back up there with whatever you're doing, whether it's working out or whether it's at school, like anything. This goes for anything. So, um, thanks for hearing me out. I kind of hope to make more videos just on certain things, not just this, but just on kind of random things. I kind of like it. I had to do this for a class as a discussion post. We had to do videos, and I kind of enjoyed it. So I don't know. I might get into this. It's kind of fun. Thank you again for listening. And please, if anyone's out there with similar stories, please share them. Please, you know, if you're feeling bad, you know, people sometimes think, oh, this person's lazy or they're just irritable or whatever. Like, even me, I've done that with my friends. Like, someone's feeling bad, I'm just like, you know, what's up? Like, I'm upset because you did this. And, you know, we start talking and you understand a little better. And sometimes it's just hard to communicate and get that out. But if you're able to with people you trust, um, it can make a world of difference. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you later.